For those that are familiar with Sam Nelson and outreach model, it's pretty top heavy at the beginning, and then it sort of tapers off towards the end. We're doing something similar both for cold and warm leads here at Dashlane. We have about a 30-day campaign for cold and warm leads. For the cold leads, it could be a little bit longer. For the warm leads, again, with that trial, depending on what interest they have, it could be a little bit shorter. We're looking at about on the cold side, let's talk about outbound, 7 emails, 8 calls, 2 LinkedIn messages in that 30-day time span. So think about reaching out to your prospects about 3 times per week. Again, that's going to be a little bit hot and heavy at the beginning, could be more closer to 4 times a week, and then taper off closer to 2 times a week at the end. Of course, some of the statistics that sales has seen is that the connects generally happen between touch points 5 and touch points 12 in the sequence. So if you're getting past touch points 12 and it's tapering off, they haven't responded to your emails, perhaps they're not engaging. If you can see, if you're using a CRM, if they've clicked or they've looked at your emails and you're not connecting, there's one of 2 things potentially wrong. Either there's no interest there, you obviously didn't hit the right notes as far as any pain points, or perhaps you have the wrong quality data information to be able to reach out to that prospect. So that's the structure that we're working on for cold leads. I think as far as personalization is concerned, like there's a lot of noise out on LinkedIn from sales. Absolutely. So I believe that personalization can work. I don't believe it's absolutely necessary. So if you think about your 2x2 or your 3x3, right, that's 2 pieces of information in 2 minutes of your prospects, 3 pieces of information in 3 minutes from your prospect. You can create hyper personalized templates without catering them directly to the person you're reaching out to. For example, like Dashlane works in the IT space. Our IT leaders probably want to see how we can impact their lives from an IT perspective, not necessarily from a personalization perspective. So, for example, a sales leader may say, I've received 100 LinkedIn in-mails in the last 30 days, and I only responded to 1. And that one was because it was hyper personalized. They looked at the podcast that I was hosted in. They've touched on 3 different things that we're doing with the company. That is where I want to respond and where I want to give my business to. But I think the reality is that like not everybody's selling to sales leaders. So the personalization piece, I think, needs to be A/B tested. The A line is with hyper personalization. How long does that take? Do you actually see better results as far as reply rates, click rates, open rates are concerned? Or do you do the B test where you just send out, hyper personalized templates with a little bit of modification? And how does that differ as far as your open and reply rates are concerned?
2 cents.
That is the reality that we live in. It's really difficult to get a response from an IT buyer. I mean, unfortunately, they're not necessarily sitting at their computer waiting for your email or waiting for your phone call. So you sort of have to reach them where they are. We book about 80% of our meetings on the outbound side over cold call. And a lot of those cold calls are to their direct lines if we can create that from our lead gen software. I do think that pain points of what the industry is seeing and stroking the ego a little bit of your IT leaders is going to get you a little bit further than just sending sort of a blank template, right? If there's something that they've done that in their industry with their company, or maybe there's a new practice, right, where Dashlane can be the experts in our field, and we can go ahead and educate some of our prospects. That's going to be a key differentiator of where we get some engagement. Dashlane is currently the leader in passkeys and passwordless campaigns, meaning if you utilize a password manager and you have to log in with your master password, if you go passwordless with Dashlane, you actually don't have to do that. We can do that with biometrics, or we can do that with one of the other factors of authentication. So for us to educate an IT buyer on how to make that easy for their end user, which is ultimately going to save them time, money, headache, peace of mind, security, right? The benefits are endless. We can go ahead and educate them a little bit more. And because we're on the forefront of this new topic, I think there's a lot of preference, whether it's a permission-based opener, a time-based opener, you want to bulldoze through to be able to just get some time with people. I like
maybe for the IT user. Let's that's very valuable for the audience.
Yeah.
What would you say?
For us, it's time-based, right? Somebody could be in the middle of a project currently. You could reach them at a bad time, but then it's all about how you follow up with them. So saying along the lines of, We work with IT buyers consistently. This is what they're seeing with password management. Do you have 20 to 30 more seconds for us to tell you why we're calling to see if there's any more alignment? I know that that's sort of a typical practice for a lot of the SDRs and a lot of the sales teams out there, but that is what works for us.
Got it. And over
Yes. So our goal is really to get the conversation started, right? The ultimate benefit of getting somebody on a discovery call is to demo them and have them try our product out. So the ultimate call to action is let's get you on a trial, right? The best thing that you can do for Dashlane specifically is to see it firsthand. We can walk you through all of the bits and pieces from, a guided perspective as an account executive, but I think getting somebody on a trial, letting them have the experience is super important for our calls to action.